Life as a Kardashian isn't easy. The cameras never seem to stop rolling. Lucky for us, it captures moments we love to tune into. Grab some popcorn and stay tuned until the very end to check out some of the most embarrassing moments that were documented on the show. But before your jaw drops to the floor with these Kardashian moments, hit the subscribe button to get more videos from the taco. Alright, now let's get on with the show. Khloe's arrest. In March of 2007, Khloe Kardashian had a bit of a run-in with the law and was taken to jail. She was allegedly dealing with the anniversary of her father's passing with a couple of drinks. Most people would have been so ashamed about being taken into custody, but Khloe seemed totally fine with it when the episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians aired. However, some people claimed that the scene was staged. For one thing, the anniversary of Khloe's dad's passing was on September 30th, but Khloe was arrested in March. So there would have been no reason for Khloe's troubles with the law to get recorded. Caitlyn's transition. When former Olympian Bruce Jenner transitioned into Caitlyn Jenner in 2015, the whole world was watching to see how Kim, Khloe, Courtney, and the rest of the clan would handle the news. Of course, everyone really wanted to know what Caitlyn's then wife Kris Jenner thought about all of this. On an emotional sit-down that was captured on a Keeping Up with the Kardashians special called About Bruce, Caitlyn emotionally tells Kris, "You are the toughest one to talk to out of anybody, okay?" Holding back tears, Kris candidly responds by saying, "Well, maybe it's because I'm the one you lied to the longest." There was no shortage of drama and emotional scenes on the show, but this one really takes the cake. Kim's robbery in Paris. Kim Kardashian was terrified, but not just because she had been robbed while she was staying at a hotel in Paris. On Keeping Up with the Kardashians, the reality star revealed she was nervous about identifying the men who had robbed her at gunpoint. But given that this was such a vulnerable moment in her life, Kim probably wishes she had dealt with it off camera. And her sister Khloe Kardashian definitely feels that way. She told Glamour, "Things like Kim's robbery or Caitlyn's transition, that's the kind of stuff we wish we had never filmed." Courtney's facial freezing debacle. Kourtney Kardashian's face was partially frozen, but this wasn't some kind of after effect of plastic surgery. Courtney had recently been to the dentist and had undergone a procedure that involved freezing. This caused one side of her face to go totally numb. Of course, she never imagined how weird she'd actually end up looking until she met her sister Khloe for lunch. Courtney seemed a bit embarrassed at first, but that's probably because they were recording the whole scene for Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She even tried hiding her face with a napkin, but eventually they both saw the humor in the whole situation and laughed it off. Kim's marriage to Kris Humphries. The only thing more embarrassing than a 72-day marriage is having it fall apart on the air. At first, E! Network aired a special about Kim Kardashian's wedding to Kris Humphries, and fans of the reality series seemed happy for Kim. But during a double episode of Courtney and Kim Take New York, Kim admitted to her mom that she felt more like herself when Kris Humphries wasn't around. She then asked her mom if that was normal, to which Kris Jenner replied that it wasn't. It probably didn't help that she had to be so open about her feelings about her soon-to-be ex-husband with the rest of the world either. Kim's private tape. During media training, it seemed as though Kris Jenner was embarrassed by the mere mention of Kim's private tape. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kris immediately looked down, which caused Kim to burst out laughing. Kim jokingly told her mom, "Don't be ashamed," but then quickly added, "Just kidding." Way to diffuse the situation, Kim. Kylie lies about her lips. In 2014, Kylie's lips became the center of media attention, but it wasn't because of her iconic lip kits. She spent the entire episode dodging the truth about how her lips became so full. By then, everyone started to suspect Kylie's lips were full of secrets. The first interview of the episode had Kylie claiming to Remix magazine that her full lips were the result of wearing different colors of lipstick. But by the time she sat down for an interview with Teen Vogue, she freely admitted that she used temporary fillers on her lips. Oddly enough, her interview with Remix happened on February 6, 2015, just 4 days before she did the interview with Teen Vogue. But that was probably the show's editing team trying to make it seem like she was slowly trying to get comfortable enough to talk about lip fillers. Can't blame a girl for wanting to keep a few secrets to herself. Khloe lost it on her mom. It's no secret that Khloe Kardashian had issues with Lamar Odom. Odom was going through a difficult time, which led to the ultimate downfall in his marriage to Khloe. But while Odom was still estranged, Khloe was shocked to learn that her mom, Kris Jenner, was secretly texting and FaceTiming with Odom behind her back. Once the truth was out, Khloe lost it on her mom during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The fallout included Khloe throwing a lot of shade at Kris for what seemed to be a huge betrayal of trust, especially after Odom called Khloe on her new phone number. How did he get that number? Blame it on momager Kris Jenner. Khloe and Kim feud. If there's one thing you count on in most families, it's that sisters fight and they fight dirty. Just ask Khloe and Kim, who had a major disagreement during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, most people know that Khloe has had issues with people who have criticized her image, but that didn't keep her from throwing shade at Kim's body. Khloe was talking about a story of a friend who had been in a compromising situation, and Kim insisted that Khloe was not there, which led to Khloe calling Kim a liar. Sisters will be sisters, right? Kylie's controversial relationship with Tyga. Kylie's relationship with rapper Tyga made headlines for all the wrong reasons. For starters, they met when Kylie was 14. It didn't take long for people to realize that what these two had together was more than friendship. By the time Kylie was 16, all she and Tyga could do was play it safe and deny all the relationship rumors. They even used social media to try and convince people that they were nothing more than friends. Eventually, the relationship ended, and Kylie addressed the breakup in an episode of Life of Kylie, where she said she dumped the rapper because she didn't want to look back and feel like he took something from me. Kim K's couch print pregnancy dress. Kim Kardashian is a major fashion icon for the most part, but no one knows what she was thinking when she appeared at the Met Gala in 2013. The famous reality star was heavily pregnant at the moment and she looked adorable. Unfortunately, nobody felt the same way about her questionable dress. Many people compared the dress to a floral print couch and dubbed it the couch dress. But she shut all of her critics up that following year when she dazzled in a better-looking dress at the Met Gala. Kim mourns her lost earring. What makes celebrities cry? It's not like they have to worry about paying the bills or their mortgages, but celebrities are human too. We're just not used to seeing them cry on camera all that often. That might be the case for most celebs, but when you're Kim Kardashian, you can make a career out of crying on camera. During a family vacation to Bora Bora, Kim misplaced an earring which prompted her to make quite a spectacle. She was play wrestling with Kris Humphries, who was her husband at the time, when he threw her in the ocean. At first, she seemed totally fine, but then she realized that one of her diamond earrings were missing. Given the major price tag on her missing jewelry, we totally get why Kim decided to pout. It's too bad it was all caught on camera for the world to see. Courtney learns Scott cheated. Finding out that the person you love was with another woman is painful under any circumstances, but it's even more embarrassing when you're in the spotlight the way the Kardashians are. So when Scott Disick met up with a stylist named Khloe Bartoli, Courtney was in for one of the most difficult heartbreaks of her life. But if that wasn't bad enough, Kris Jenner was the one who broke the news about Scott and his gal pal cheating on her daughter. We also got to see Courtney falling apart after learning that Scott had cheated on her. Courtney's fans were there to offer her emotional support on social media, but we're pretty sure that the reality star would have preferred dealing with this on her own and without the cameras rolling. Kim's burping contest. You'd think that a gal who's constantly getting filmed like Kim Kardashian would know how to keep certain things private, especially when she's out in public. Then again, Kim's only human, and she's proved that on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kim and Kris Humphries were sitting at a restaurant side by side when Humphries leaned into Kim. Naturally, viewers assumed that he was going to kiss her, but he ended up burping into her mouth. At first, Kim seemed shocked. She even said, "Oh my god." Then she leaned in and did the exact same thing to Humphries. But even though things didn't work out between these two lovebirds, it's safe to say they'll never be able to forget the time they burped into each other's mouths. Yikes. Kris gives Rob a heads up. Kris Jenner was trying to spice things up between herself and Bruce Jenner, who was her husband at the time, but it kind of backfired in the most hilarious way. Kris had decided to slip some male enhancement pills into Bruce's coffee. It turns out that she had done this before in the past, and it worked. But things got really awkward when her son Rob Kardashian accidentally drank all of Bruce's coffee for breakfast. As you might expect, the spiked coffee did exactly what Kris had intended it to do if Bruce had drunk it. So Rob went to the hospital to figure out why his body was reacting the way it was. Eventually, the whole family learned what happened to Rob, and Kris had no choice but to admit to Bruce that she had been dosing him with performance enhancement pills. Who's hungry for placenta? Kim and Courtney Kardashian had a plan that was absolutely wicked. They intended to fool their family at the dinner table, and it worked. The joke involved getting everyone to believe that they had eaten human placenta that was ordered online. Kris and Bruce Jenner, as well as the sisters' friend Jonathan Cheban, kept studying the unusual meat on their plate. Their jaws dropped when they thought they had actually consumed placenta. But by the end of the meal, Courtney confessed that the dish came from flat-cut beef brisket. But what could have possessed the sisters to pull such a devious trick on their loved ones? It turns out that the family wasn't very supportive when Kim suggested that she would eat her own placenta after the baby was born. So this was payback. Well played, Kim and Courtney. Well played. Free Khloe. Khloe Kardashian got into trouble with the law for driving while under the influence before Keeping Up with the Kardashians first aired. She was put on probation, but she broke the rules again and headed back to jail. But this time, Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian were accompanying her, and Kris wasn't very happy during the car ride. Funnily enough, it wasn't entirely because Khloe was going to jail. Meanwhile, Kim was in the backseat taking selfies, which forced Kris to ask her to stop. She even had to yell at her and say, "Your sister's going to jail." Kylie danced on mom's pole. If you're a fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, then you might remember that Kris Jenner once had a pole in her bedroom. But there was a hilariously embarrassing moment that happened during season 1. Kendall and Kylie stormed into their mom's room and jumped on the pole. Suddenly, little Kylie started dancing like a pro, which totally impressed her sister, but freaked her mom out a little when she saw this. Ask Kylie what her most embarrassing moment was on the reality series, and she'll agree. If she could go back in time and stop herself from doing it, or at least keep the cameras from filming it, she admits she would have been a lot happier. Birthday suit. During an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians titled Birthday Suit, Kris Jenner did something that most moms probably would have been too embarrassed to do. You see, Kris has always been the kind of mom that tried to give her daughters as much support as possible, especially during photo shoots. But when Kim had to pose au naturel for a magazine shoot, Mom stepped in to alleviate her fears in an unusual way. Kris participated in a photo shoot wearing Caitlyn Jenner's Olympic gold medal and an American flag. Years later, people speculated that Caitlyn Jenner would follow in his ex-wife's footsteps, but it turns out that the rumors were completely false. The Kendall Jenner Pepsi scandal. Kendall Jenner faced some serious backlash after she gave a Pepsi to a police officer during a Black Lives Matter protest. Everything about the scene was staged for a commercial, but the message behind the Pepsi advert managed to offend a ton of people. Many felt that showing a privileged white model trying to make peace between cops and activists was kind of insulting. Naturally, Kendall was heartbroken, and during the season 14 premiere of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, on that episode she told her sister Kim that she never meant to offend or hurt anyone. She received a lot of criticism from people on social media, but Kim reminded her that this was to be expected since this was her first experience dealing with a scandal. Would you ever want to be a reality star if the whole world could see you at your worst? Tell us what you think in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco for more videos like this.